Good morning, traders. Venderman here with FuturestraderElite with your NQ pre-market prep live on 12/11. So let's jump into this chart. Set on the 1 hour, and right now the price is around 622. Looks like it's trying to build off of this S1 pivot right here. Something to look at is, I don't know if it was on Monday, not sure what pre-market prep it was, but we discussed that, we've been discussing this head and shoulder pattern and this over here, that we needed to break through this to the upside, and you can see we kept getting rejected. Then we got this, and then we was talking about our line in the sand to the downside if we got pulled back. We talked about this S2 pivot right here, and all this area, because there was a previous all-time high here, this yellow line, and we was talking about this area here, this consolidation, that around that 400 mark would be our line in the sand. And it looks like overnight it got a drop down into that area. The S2 pivots at 391. The previous all-time high, that yellow line, is 393, 394, and we was talking about it could possibly get a sweep into the zone box, which it didn't. That pivot saved it there. That was a key area we was talking about to the downside. The question is all this consolidation in this whole area right here, because for the most part there's only 200 points of range or so in this whole area. I mean, it goes outside that range, but most of the price action was within 200 points all the way back to the beginning of the month. So this is a big ordeal here. Are we just going to get back up to the golden pivot here on this 1 hour? Say the golden pivot's here at 733. With all the consolidating it did here, and we got this triple top up here where it couldn't break through all that resistance, we might be looking for another leg down. Good possibility here. Looking at the overall structure, see if we can turn off some of these drawings. Might be able to see things a little clearer. So we had a huge run up after this drop. This is a big move right here. Now we're consolidating, but the overall picture, since we couldn't break through this head and shoulders and this consolidation here, it makes you almost think we're still going to be in a downtrend. Now if we just get back to the golden pivot maybe today and it does take another leg down, then we need to be thinking about what do we need to be looking at to the downside. So let's say that we bounce off the golden pivot and come back down. This green zone is in balance. We need to fill that anyway. On the 1 hour chart, that's in balance, and these red ones are in balance on the 1 hour up top. So even if it went through the golden pivot, you could be thinking, well, it might just be trying to fill the imbalance in these areas up here. And then you got the overhead trend line on the 1 hour. So if we come to the downside, that S2 pivot already saved us. Still, it could drop and get back close to that, but still put in a higher low right here somewhere today. I would be thinking that if we broke that low there, then we need to be thinking about this green line right here, which is at 324. So say 320 to 330 area right here, and then of course your whole number at 300, and then this previous all-time high down here is at 275. those are all quite a ways away. I would keep in mind only if we break below the S2 pivot today. So once again, them levels under the S2 pivot that I would be looking at for possible bounce are going to be 320 to 330, 300 to 310, 275 to 285 maybe. Just for now, to keep them in mind to the downside. And I mean, if it drops that low and wants to keep on going or something else, then I will try to update that in the updates channel on Discord whenever that if it happens. So now let's look a little bit to the upside, since we're getting this drive on the 1 hour. Overnight we got this drop, now we're coming back up. I'm gonna say that we got to get through this green line here, which is 675, which was a support line, now going to be acting as resistance. And you can see here where we closed below that green line, huge red candle, started this drop overnight. So you got to be thinking we get back up here to 675, we might reject, and then the golden pivot is 733. Yeah, 675 is the green line, and then 733. We get above the green line and it can close, maybe consolidate, get a push to the golden pivot. Thing is with the golden pivot up there at 733, we got this imbalance zone up here. Plus we have this red rejection line up here. It's at 740, 741. And then you got all this right here to worry about as far as resistance. You have what looks like a itty bitty head and shoulders on the 1 hour right here. It's all falling into that line. Kept getting rejected in here before it finally broke and then pierced back through. Hard rejection there, hard rejection here. With what all that's telling you is you would think, first reaction for sure that's going to be a rejection. And then you got the same thing back here on this green line that was at 675. All this rejection, all these taps in that, and huge drop off this area right here. Finally worked its way back up there, consolidated a little, another huge drop. Got back up there, dropped a little bit, pierced it a little bit, big drop again, spiked way up. If I had to guess, this candle right here is probably more than likely around the open in the morning. Since it did that, it probably a liquidity sweep through that 675 area and went all the way up to that next area, and then closed all the way down here. Typical things that happen. Let's look at this whole picture here. Let's drop this down to the 15 minute. See what we have. This is a 15, but this box is still the imbalance box from the 1 hour. These red ones are the imbalances from the 1 hour chart. Nasty drop overnight. We still have this 1 hour, this 1 hour trend line here, and excuse me, say that this does turn around at 675 and come down. I would think if we bounce off this line to the downside, we'd be looking at, let's say, filling this imbalance box more than likely, and then excuse me, yeah, filling this, but maybe get a bounce, because there's a yellow line right here at the bottom of this green box, which was a previous all-time high. Know what the bottom of this box is. Let's say about 545 is the bottom of that box. But yeah, you get that bounce, fill this, maybe get another bounce, and then it may try to reject again at this green line and come down. or we get above it, and then we see what our reaction is here. If we keep driving this up, I'll be playing first reaction into this zone for sure, the golden pivot, and then probably keep my wrist tight in case it tried to pierce through it, but then get right back in it somewhere in the top side of this imbalance zone for another drop. You know, this range has just been so tight for days now. I mean, we've gotten out of the range some, you know, with this drop here, these spikes, but a big portion of all this has been traded within 200 points on the 15 or the 1 hour chart. So, you know, I guess really these two trend lines right here, I'm going to be paying attention to anything in between this 1 hour down here, this green line, and this 1 hour red line until I think they're just going to chop us back and forth in this range. I guess once the market opens up and we see which way they want to take it, then we'll know for sure. And then, like any day, I'll throw in some precision entry zone boxes on this chart as we get closer to market open, and share that in the Discord so that everybody else can try to be prepared with some areas for reaction. You know, stay sharp. Try to stay green today. Stay safe. Don't chase. Let these trades come to you, because there's going to be plenty of opportunity. More than likely, every day there's opportunities where these trades can come to you. You just have to be patient and sit on your hands and not chase. If you miss it, you miss it. That's no big deal. There'll always be another trade on the chart. Just take your time with it. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I appreciate all the support. I will see you guys in the trade recap, and y'all that are part of the Discord, I will see you guys in the Discord. Have a great trading day.